Hi, welcome to the video on vertical angles. Vertical angles are two angles that, when you cross two straight lines, you cross two lines like my arms across now, they're the two angles that are not next to each other, the non-adjacent angles, the angles that you can think of like as across from each other. So if I cross two lines like this, and I've got angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4, then angles 1 and 3, these are vertical, and then angles 2 and 4, those are vertical. And vertical angles we learned in class are congruent. They're the exact same measurement, they're equal. The reason for that is this. If I were to erase these numbers, let me just erase the whole thing. If I were to draw two more lines, if I knew that this angle here was 60 degrees, then what we learned about linear pairs told me that if two angles form a straight line and are adjacent, then they have to add up to 180. So if this is 60, this has to add with it to give me 180. So 180 minus 60, that immediately tells me this is 120. Well, the same thing works right there, because these are also adjacent. They form a straight line, so they're supplementary. 180 minus 60 is also 120. So let's just see those three. And then if you use the same idea, but instead use this line, use the 120, the 120 plus 60 gives you 180. So like you just saw a second ago, these angles are the same and so are these. No matter what that first angle was, the other three are already determined based on that first one. So we're going to use that idea in these two examples. All right, let me erase this. Alright, so I'm going to start with this example. This example's a little easier, then I'll do the one you see on the left. Okay, so this first example here, well, right here, we've got two lines crossing, or line segments I should say, and right there, we see this bow tie kind of shape. As soon as you see that, you know those two angles are equal. Now there's another way you could do this problem. You could tell me that this is 44, so that's a linear pair with it, so this has to be 180 minus 44. You could tell me that's 136. And then what you could do is you could add these up and say that they add up to 180. That's fine. When we do that problem over there, you're going to see that might not work. Okay, but here it does work. So you could say 136 plus 3x plus 2 equals 180. But an easier way, without having to do that, since we just said they're congruent, set them equal. Okay? So you can say either one first, either the 3x plus 2 or the 44. We don't really need the 136. I'll start with the 3x plus 2. And it equals the other thing, its other side, equals 44. Basically, we're just looking for the number to put in for x that makes this whole expression 44. So there's some number for x where when I do this, I get 44. And to figure out what that is, we'll solve this equation. So x is on the left side, which means I got to get rid of this 2. I was adding it, so I have to subtract it. So the 2's are going to cancel. I'm going to get 3x equals 44 minus 2. That's 42. And then I only have one step left. All I have to do is divide by 3. Since that says 3 times x, I do the opposite. I divide by it. When you divide 42 by 3, you do get 14. So that's what x is. If you want to double check that work, you can go back up here, say 3 times x, 3 times 14, that's 42. 42 plus 4, that is in fact 44. 42 plus 4 will give us the 44. And like we said, that would be 136, you can put that in, which means that's also 136. And that's done, there's not much else to do there. Alright, moving on to the other problem. Here, this isn't a problem that I really did much of an example in class, but it is a problem that you could see. Here we've got 3 lines crossing, which means we have different pairs of vertical angles. I'm going to use 3 different colors to see which ones are vertical. I know the top one that's blank is the same as the bottom one that's blank. Okay? These lines cross, so these are the same. I see these 2 lines cross that form that X shape, so I know this angle has to be the same as this angle. And then last but not least, I see this line, the horizontal one, and the one going down like this. They cross. So these are vertical. I've got 3 different pairs of congruent angles, and I can set any pair of them equal to, I can set either angle in a pair equal to its partner, the thing that it's paired with. So I can say this is equal to this, or I could say this is equal to this. You could see either example. Most of my examples in class, you would just see one of them. Like maybe you just see the blue angles, or maybe you just see the orange angles. But if I gave you both, it would be your choice which one to pick. It wouldn't matter. Since they both use x, It really won't matter. Once you solve one of them for x, you won't be able to plug x into any of them. So I'm not going to solve this one because that's a lot like this one. You've got like something x plus something, and then you've got just a number. I want to solve this one that has they're like binomials kind of. They have two terms, 5x minus 4 and 7x minus 20. It's not just a single term like that. So let's try this. Let's work on setting this equal to this. I'm going to start with this guy, 7x minus 20, and set it equal to 5x minus 4. Alright, so they're equal. I've got x's on both sides. I don't like that. I need to move my x's to one side. So I usually try to move the smaller x to the other side. This way I keep my x's positive. So since this is positive 5x, to get rid of it, I have to take 5x away. If I took it from the right side, I've got to take it from the left side. So the 5x's cancel here. 7x minus 5x is 2x. And I'm going to bring everything else down. The minus 20 comes down, the equal sign comes down, negative 4 comes down. Make sure you bring this negative with this 4. That negative belongs with that 4. Alright? So now my x is on the left side, everything else has to go to the right. So I was subtracting 20 from this x after I multiplied it. So now I have to add 20 to both sides. Negative 20 and positive 20, they cancel. I'm left with 2x on the left. My equal sign comes down. Negative 4 plus 20 is positive 16. So now I've got 2 times the number gives me 16, so I do the opposite of multiplication. The opposite of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. The 2's cancel. I'm left with x is 8. X equals 8. So I can plug that in here and here, make sure it's right. I will be able to plug it in here, and hopefully it works. So let's see. 7 times x, or 7 times 8, that's 56. 56 minus 20 is 36. Let's see if I get the same thing here. Let's see if I'm right. I'm supposed to do that in orange. It doesn't matter. 5 times, I don't know what this is. Not a big deal, but let's be consistent. 5 times 8, 5 times x, 5 times 8 is 40. 40 minus 4 is also 36. So these two angles are 36. They came out perfect. That's great. Now I didn't solve this one. This equation would have been 4x plus 1 equals 33. But since I already know what x is, let's see if it worked. Let's see if x worked everywhere. 8 times x, 8 times 4. That's 32. 32 plus 1, that is 33. So I've got 2 of those. My angles I'm missing are right there and there. You could figure these out. I realize they're blank, but fortunately we did learn about linear pairs, and we know that straight lines have 180 degrees in them. Okay? So if I put this protractor right here, I've got this angle, and this angle that make up this straight line. I know this is 36, I know this is 33, but I don't know that. If I add up the 3 of them though, I should get 180. So 33 plus 36, well that's 69. And 69 plus something has to give me 180. So if I did 33 plus 36 plus, we could call this like y or z or whatever you want, plus y equals 180. I'm basically saying that these add up to 69. And you guys know how to solve an equation like this. All you do is subtract this 69. I would never ask you to write that, but just to see it visually, add these up, subtract them from 180, you find out that this is 101 degrees. I'm sorry, 111 degrees. That's better. Yeah, 111 degrees. And if that's 111, so is that. And one cool thing you'll notice about all these angles together, since if you added them all together, it's like a pizza or a circle. Together they add up to 360 degrees. That's just about all you need to know about vertical angles for my class for now. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. You can email me, you can leave a comment in the box, just ask me in class. Anything like that works, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Alright? Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.